Thank you for those of you attending virtually. The program we use is called Zoom, and we just want to give a quick overview. On the bottom left of your screen, you will see icons for your audio and video. The microphone is to mute or unmute your audio. For this event, all Zoom participants will be muted by the meeting host. The video icon is used to turn on or off your video. This is the video of yourself. If you find that your video or audio is lagging or freezing, you can mute your video, turning off your camera to stop using as much bandwidth. On the bottom of your computer screen are some extra features. The first icon represents a person, and if clicked on, shows the names of those in virtual attendance on the right-hand side of your screen. The speech bubble icon represents the chat feature, and if clicked, opens a chat window. In the To field, you can select from the drop-down menu. You can choose to see if everyone sees your message. You can pick a direct person to send or directly to the speaker. You can type questions or comments in the chat. Questions will be passed on to the speaker during the Q&A portion of our event. The next icon is for screen sharing. Only speakers and presenters will be using this function. The smiley face icon is for reactions. Under this icon, there is a raise your hand feature, which we will not be using currently at this time. On the top right of your screen, you will see the View button. Speaker View will focus on just the presenter and their screen or presentation. Gallery View will let you see all the participants evenly. The Full Screen function will let you maximize your screen, and you can click the View button again to exit full screen. Once the presentation starts, your view options will change. We ask that for Catena, the standard view be kept, as you will then be able to see the screen share. Side-by-side view and swap video shared screen will not be helpful for this presentation. Side-by-side gallery view will let you see the shared screen and all the participants in attendance virtually. For the Q&A portion of our event, April will be asking the presenter questions left in the chat. We ask that those participants that are in person please approach the microphone over here with your questions, and everyone else feel free to put them in the chat whenever you like. Thanks and have a lovely evening.
Good evening, everyone. My name is April Lammert, and I'm a programming librarian with the Demmer Library here in Three Lakes. I want to welcome you to the third Catena event of the spring series. I always start every Catena with explaining that the word Catena means a series or a chain, and we have a sit right on a series and a chain of lakes, and this is a series and a chain of speaking events about our lakes and the past, present, and future of our area. So I start that up every time. One more time, thank you for those of us joining virtually. Thank you for those of you here in the audience. If you have a question, just because we have virtual people too, we ask that you come up to this microphone up here and present your questions. If you are virtual, again, please put them in the chat and we'll make sure they get answered. So we are really excited. We've had a really great series already. We have 2 down and tonight and the next one to go, and we've been featuring the Forward Three Lakes team, which has done some really great things and has a really great vision for our Three Lakes area. So I'm going to start off by introducing Larry Jack Roth and the Cy Williams Working Group.
Thank you, April. And I have the pleasure of leading discussions about the Cy Williams Park and where we would like to see that go. We meet on the first and third Wednesday of the first and third Wednesday at 7 p.m. on Zoom, and I want to thank the Center for the Arts for their support, use of their facilities. It certainly is invaluable to the community. And thanks to the Park Commission for joining our conversations when they can and giving their input and background on why things are the way they are and how things have changed over time. And thanks to the library staff for setting up Catena and getting us rolling on this. It's a great opportunity to talk to the community. So our mission, we wanted to start out with something that guided our discussions about Cy Williams Park. And so this is our latest mission statement, and it probably will change again sometime as we go forward. But for now, we wanted to have a Cy Williams Park group to bring ideas to the Parks Commission to better support current and proposed future events to be held in the park. The goal for the park, and this is our goal, not necessarily anyone else's, but it's our goal for the park to be welcoming to residents, visitors, and especially family activities. It's a place to recognize our history and to highlight Three Lakes as a fun place to visit and to live. Our priorities right now are focused on what is most doable and practical and visible to the community and to visitors. We've identified the events that are currently held in Cy Williams Park and those that might be coming, as soon as we know them, we add that to the list as well. And we're committed to discussing each of the proposed elements to the park that were brought forward by the Forward Three Lakes group that preceded us. And we'll talk more about events and elements in the park in a few slides. So this is my favorite slide from one of the previous presentations, just because it brings back memories about my history and my wife's history of when we were introduced to Three Lakes. And I like the line about consider downtown as Three Lakes' front yard, a place where the community shares with its neighbors and visitors. And Cy Williams Park, I think, needs to be considered our backyard, also to be shared with visitors and residents alike. So, from our Forward Three Lakes efforts last year, I would say most of it was last year, we came up with a shared vision for Three Lakes through 580 community members surveyed. 30 people were in focus groups, and they viewed the park as the backyard for our town and something to be proud of and show off with visitors. An introduction for the visitors about what Three Lakes is about, the fun activities we have, and the Chain of Lakes beauty. And I think it's important to keep in mind that the whole effort was to start out with the thought, what should Three Lakes be 20 years from now? And specifically, what should Cy Williams Park be 20 years from now? That's something we have to plan for and work towards. That's important to set the stage for all of the revisions over time that might take place. You have to think all these things through, think through the space required for each of these elements in the park, etc. So that was the shared vision from the Forward Three Lakes group. On the right-hand side of the slide, it's what kind of input does our little group have? We have 19 people on our distribution list, so we've had 19 different folks express a specific interest in Cy Williams and where it goes next. We've gotten some great resources on the history and the development of the park, which we want to have honored and continued. There's lots of factors to consider whenever a change is made to the park, not only because of the history, but because of all of the other elements of the park. Everything has to fit together. There's a considerable amount of research that's already been going into potential grant opportunities, but before any of that can go very far, we have to have some full agreement from the Park Commission and other organizations from the town to say that this is what we want to do and how we want to do it. So we hope to bring forward those ideas that we discuss and agree on to the Parks Commission, along with grant options and volunteers where we can. We want to bring both the opportunity and some resources to them so that it makes it an easy decision to go forward. So we'll talk about some of the priorities and elements that we have so far, and again, we're going to mention the 20-year view. The elements are pieces of the park, things that are actively used or could be used. So some of them are in existence, and others are just proposed ideas. One of the first ideas we want to pursue is the current beach house, and we'll have a picture of that in a minute. The current beach house has some limited uses right now, and the concept would be to make it more of a family pavilion where it serves all of its past functions, but also serves as a center place for family picnics and serving food and just enjoying the park down by the water. We've had an idea brought forward that the shelter that we currently have, that's right next to the beach house, could use a windscreen, and that might be beneficial for the kids in the park when they do their art projects every week. We certainly have some nice playground equipment there now, but there's also a suggestion that if there was a way to incorporate the showboat design that used to be out by the Northern Air, if that can be made into some addition to the playground equipment, that might be a very attractive idea and something fun to do. We certainly have to build around the flagpole that we have right now. We have the Chamber of Commerce and its storage and restroom building to work with. There's been ideas about locating volleyball courts in Cy Williams Park and perhaps a skating rink. But here again, we have to decide together with a whole group of folks on what is the best place for those things. Is it Cy Williams Park, or is it on Burnside Park? There's an idea that came from Forward Three Lakes that a chain of lakes map might be a very attractive thing to do and really emphasize our chain of lakes. That could take the form of anywhere from a picture on the wall to a layout of the chain of lakes on the ground, all the way up to a water feature where there's maybe even a splash pad for children playing on top of a map of the chain of lakes. So there's lots of options and things to think through there, both maintenance and what's appealing to the town and to visitors. There's a need for a meeting area. Certainly we have the weekly firemen's a group there, and we have the firemen's picnic there, so there's a need for an open space that's going to accept large numbers of people. We've had interest in a small sledding area, and probably would be very small, but it is already used for that to some extent. We have a gazebo there that might need a little bit of maintenance and sprucing up. Maybe we can help with that, whether that's through the Lions Club or whether it's another organization. I think that might be an area that we could help the Parks Commission. This is a really new idea. It's a kayak and canoe launch. Maybe that's a canoe launch. I'm not sure, but that would be something that helps people get in and out of their kayaks and canoes and launch to paddle around on Maple Lake. And we've also heard that new Christmas tree lights would be great in the park. So those are all the things that somehow have to be balanced, prioritized, thought through, and that's what our group is about. So for now, priorities have centered around the beach house conversion to a family pavilion. That's something that's been talked about for some time, and I think we have some funds that we can help get that moving, and that's the first thing to talk to the Park Commission about. The canoe and kayak launch would be kind of a nice idea, and it's affordable, so that's something that I think we'll probably want to talk about early on. The volleyball court and skating rink locations, that's important to talk through because it affects what other things might be able to fit in the park. And then we're trying to get some discussions going between the Waterfront Association and the Fish and Wildlife Group to see if there's maybe some opportunity to protect the shoreline and perhaps even enhance the fishing opportunities there. That might be a real plus for both visitors and residents alike. So, I mentioned earlier that we want to support all of the events that currently go on, and so we've made a list, and I think it's a little bit larger list than I had thought in the first place, but at least number 8 and number 9, the Art in the Park and North by Northwoods Summer Kickoff, those are either new events completely or new to the park. And so it just really emphasizes we have to be flexible in how this ends up looking, and we need a plan to keep it that way. So what did Forward Three Lakes learn from all of those community surveys and focus groups? Well, they gave us some ideas and sketches that we'll look at right now. So here's a quick look at what, and again, could be 20 years from now, but it's a quick look at what the park might look like from the water. It's a very different view than what we have currently, but it's a way of presenting ideas for people to discuss and prioritize. So that's from the lake, and this is from the street level. Again, this is, you can see the idea for a water feature there that really outlines or highlights the lakes, the chain of lakes. So now we'll take a quick look at a few things that are currently in the park. This is a highlight of what the park is all about, and I think that we can perhaps in the long run do a even better job of highlighting Cy Williams and maybe sprucing up the sign a little bit at the very least. But there are some other ideas about how to enhance that even further. Picture of the gazebo. It is our centerpiece for the park. And our current playground equipment that perhaps we can add on to. My grandchildren love what's there now, but there may be more things that can be incorporated. Here's the shelter area that mentioned. Perhaps some wind screens might be beneficial and make it more useful during less than desirable weather. And finally, here's the beach house. What we would really like to see happen here is make this on the far left-hand side of the picture here, if that can be a serving counter where you can have hot and cold food served. We would also try to make sure there's an ADA bathroom facility there. And we had a suggestion that we really needed a baby and toddler changing station in the park as well. So that's what we're trying to sketch out, some opportunities there to bring to the Parks Commission and have a full discussion about what form that might take, how much it costs, and how we could get there. So I want to make sure everyone's welcome to join us on the first and third Wednesday at 7 o'clock. If you have any specific ideas or concerns, I'd encourage you to get a hold of me directly through the Gmail, and I will add you to the distribution list for our discussions if you would like. Thank you.
So far, I have 2 questions for you.
Oh, okay.
And
Very
I
good.
haven't checked in with the Zoom yet, but Erica will let me know. So the first question, has there been discussions with other groups or organizations to collaborate in the proposed development of the park? Should I repeat that? That's a lot of words.
There has been discussions with the Lions Club about what they might be able to and willing to help with, and I think there's some financial potential there, and definitely a number of volunteers to help work through at least the work done on the beach house.
Okay. And so what are the current, what do you think are some of the current roadblocks you guys might have with the park with going forward? Or do you have a hurdle right now that you're trying to get over?
Well, I think that with any change to the park, there's concerns about how much it might cost, what kind of additional maintenance it might represent to the town, who does the work. Those are all things that I think at least the Lions and I think other groups might rise to the occasion on, and I think we'll be looking for donations at some point in time to help smooth that transition to get those things done.
Very cool.
Okay?
All right, lost my internet. Nothing on the chat? All right, and nothing on the chat.
Okay.
So you're free.
Thanks
And
again.
Thank you. Thank you again. And so now from Cy Williams Park Working Group to the Natural Resources Working Group, we have Janelle Dupuy.
Okay, how you feeling after that video? Right? I know. That's why we're all here, right? Is just all the amazing beauty that we have. Okay, so I'm Janelle. Thank you, April and Erica and the Demer Library for putting this on. This is so fun. And then the Center of the Arts. This is just such a great place. Thank you, everybody, for coming in, collaborating, and making this happen. All right. So the Natural Resource Working Group, this is a big one. The Natural Resource Group's goal is to attract and educate people about our beautiful natural environment and connect residents and visitors to our lakes, forests, parks, trails, and wildlife, so everyone can experience and enjoy the abundance of natural resources that we have in our community. Yeah, so simply, we just want to connect people with nature. It's so important for our well-being. All right. So the Design Wisconsin team that came, well, they actually didn't come, but they gathered the data and they took the surveys and they did all the things that they needed to do. They came up with some big ideas for each of the themes, each of the groups that you've been listening to. So for natural resources, it was a balanced approach, stewardship and showmanship. So that was a big reason why in our guiding statement we wanted to educate people, and we also want to attract people. So that's the stewardship and showmanship. A tiered lake experience. This is something that you can look up on the reveal. It's a little complicated. The point of it is that the health of our lakes is dependent on collective action of many landowners. So this is the big idea, right? Is that how do we all come together and work to make Three Lakes a super great place? So the trail systems is another one. Branching off of the existing Three Eagle Trail, we want to expand that, possibly connect to the Thunder Lake. Oh, I'm getting ahead of myself. The Thunder Lake Wildlife Area off of Rice Lake Road. And then birding sites. The Design Wisconsin team offered us 8 possible regional birding sites. And I don't know if you heard my little get up a couple weeks ago, but I just read this article about birding and how it makes you happier than money. And that's totally true. So we're going to really work on doing some really fun birding stuff. So some of the sites were Franklin and Butternut Lake areas, all the way to Argonne, and then they also included Thunder Lake Wildlife Area. All right. So here are some actions that have just been completed. A couple of them haven't been actually our group, but I want to make sure that everybody knows about this. And if you don't, you're going to now. And I don't know if my online people, can you zoom in to me? I don't know. But so this adventure guide was created by loving community members. It's actually another natural resource group that we have as a subcommittee for our town. And it just has all of the stuff that I didn't know. Some of the stuff that I knew, but some of the stuff in here you don't even know. It's trails, lakes, it's silent sporting trails. So you want to make sure that you get this. Someone in our group was interested in developing maybe some ideas around Shelter Valley. So we got in contact with the Forest Service there. So we're just in conversation. We contacted the land manager out at Thunder Lake Wildlife Area, so we're taking these steps. One of our group members, we have a really fun group. We're small but mighty, and so we'll talk about that later. One of our group members actually told us about the Nicolet National Forest in the Three Lakes area is mentioned as a top 10 birding site in the state. And that's by the Wisconsin Society of Ornithology. And I just want to read it to you real quick. In addition to the forest itself, it's also year-round, which is cool, right? Bringing people in. In addition to the forest itself, numerous lakes, swamps, bogs, and marshes dot the landscape. Some of these wet areas are thickly overgrown with black spruce, cedar, tamarack, alder, and willow. During summer, more than 20 warbler species are present. And if you're a birder, you know what that means. Other interesting resident birds include black-backed woodpeckers, spruce grouse, boreal chickadees, gray jays, and varying numbers of winter finches. Must-stops in this extensive area include Thunder Lake Marsh, Three Lakes, Old A, it's actually in parentheses, bog. So I think that's out in between the two marshes, the Thunder Lake on the right and Tamarack on the left. There's an Old A there. Pine, Shelp, and Scott Lakes, and various forestry roads that bisect the forest to the north of Hiles and east of Three Lakes. So that's kind of cool, right? Did you know that? That we're top 10. It's super great. Okay. So some of the things that we're going to be doing this summer, we're going to be creating videos of our parks, trails, and lakes to use in promoting our natural resources. We are establishing guided nature walks with a focus on plants and birds. So if you want to join in, you know where it's going to be happening. And then Colette is a member of our group, and she started a birdwatcher corner on the Three Lakes Chamber Facebook page, and it's super great. Again, they make you happy. So go visit the Three Lakes Chamber Facebook page for sure. Okay. So, we want to connect people with nature. I've said that once, so I'll say it again. These are some of our short-term ideas. We want to identify existing natural resource opportunities that we can promote. So again, just getting the feel as to what's already going on in Three Lakes regarding our beautiful natural areas, and then how can we help and support that. We want to find avenues to promote these through social media to entice new visitors. So a couple of group members are looking into and very interested in maybe creating a commercial Instagram account. They really want to they think that focusing on the younger population and especially younger families with all of the craziness with hashtags and Instagram, stuff that can do for us. So that's cool. Research funding sources and develop a plan for funding our projects. And then we want to build our group membership. So if you like being outside, you want to contact me. Okay. So here are some long-range ideas. We want to work to enhance the Thunder Lake wildlife area. I really think that that's kind of my little thing. So boardwalks, observatory platform, definitely signs. As you're using the Three Eagle Trail, there should be really big signs that say, go look at the birds. They make you happy. Yeah, so we're going to do that, and that'll be with the land manager. So it's managed by the DNR, and I know that they have grants and things that you can apply for, so we're working on that. Work to create more silent sport trails connecting downtown with communities and natural areas. Again, if people are going to come and see us, we want them to be outside. We want them to be able to experience what we get to all the time. We're definitely going to support the Cy Williams Park projects because Jack actually started in my group, and then I was like, no, you can have Cy Williams. It's too big. I want to learn how to bird. So collaborate with other organizations to attract and educate people about our amazing natural resources. All right. So wrapping it up, I might be the only group that actually has something on the calendar that you can come to. If you want to, I would like you to come to. We will be hosting a buckthorn, which is an invasive species, cutting event, and we'll need volunteers to come out and help. Saturday, August 14th, 2021, 8 to 12, and lunch will be provided. It's always helpful. So buckthorn, if you don't know, is a species in the Midwest that can quickly dominate the forest floor with their dense thickets of growth. This dense layer displaces our natural plants, the native ones, and can cause long-term decline of forests by shading. So there has been some work in maintaining some buckthorn that we've already seen and worked with. So there's going to just be some more of that. I'm Janelle Dupuy. That's my email. That's my phone number to join group or events. You can contact me. Our next meeting will be in person on Tuesday, May 25th. We're actually going to begin with a field trip at the Thunder Lake Wildlife Area off of Rice Lake Road at 6 p.m. and then meet at the Cy Williams Park Gazebo at 6:30 p.m. So bring a chair or a blanket to sit on, and I'm hoping, I kind of put that picture on to be funny. I definitely don't hope the gazebo looks like that when we meet at the end of the month. But I think that's going to be it for me.
Okay, a couple questions for you. Who will be organizing the nature walks?
That is Jack Werner and Les Anderson, as far as I know right now. Okay, did that answer the question?
For your buckthorn event, where can they meet you, or where can they learn more about it? Should they just email you,
Yes,
or will there be an event
right,
posted?
Well, yes.
Okay.
Sorry to interrupt.
No, go
Okay.
ahead.
Yeah, it'll definitely be posted online, but emailing me would put you on the list to when all those details are kind of figured out. Very good question.
Oh, I forgot that's how you ended it. You're not done yet. You still have one more piece.
Well, I know,
forgot.
but I wanted it to like.
You want to go out on the good note?
Yeah. Okay.
All right. And so last question was, I know that Jackie posted an online resource to get the adventure books. Where else can they find those adventure books?
Yes. You want to help me with that, Colette?
At the chamber. I was kind of wondering. Okay. Okay. Town office, the chamber.
A lot of places have them. Yes.
Okay. Wonderful. I want to make sure they can get one.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Any other?
I think
it?
that's They're wondering if there is a plan to have more signage to highlight the Thunder Gauge, the narrow gauge railroad, and and the history.
Yes. Yes, we would like more signage, informational, directional signage is good. Yes, we're working on it.
Three Eagle Trail is working on that as well.
To go left here? Oh. Oh, okay, good. Okay. Yeah.
And I saw up there you were looking for, you're open to ideas. So
Yes.
when people have come to you, they can come to you and talk to you and email you for that?
Yes.
Wonderful.
Yeah. I think most of our contact information is also on our Forward Three Lakes Facebook page, on maybe separate posts on our website. Yeah. Yeah, reach out, right? Let's be of service. Let's do it together.
Wonderful.
Okay, so do you want to close something?
Yeah, let me just do my spiel really quick here. Again, thank you everyone for coming. We have one more Catena for the spring series, so that is the last Wednesday of the month. That is May 28th, if I wrote that down correctly. Love to have you there. It's the last two working groups, so they're going to talk about the housing and they're going to talk about growth and development. So if you've enjoyed these at all, they've been informational, they've been wonderful, and we've enjoyed them. Again, thank you to Three Lakes Center for the Arts, who's been amazing with us, and Neverland Productions. You guys have done a great job making this virtual and in person, and we just really appreciate all the collaboration. And thank you, Forward Three Lakes Group, for doing this for us. So, thanks, guys. Go on, Janelle.
Oh, maybe it's not going to let me.